What you can do if your LinkedIn account has been restricted. If you've had a restriction placed on your LinkedIn account, it can be very frustrating, especially if you're using LinkedIn to generate leads and to network professionally, and you get a restriction on your LinkedIn account. Important that we get it lifted. There are things we can do, and this video is about what to do if your LinkedIn account has been restricted. People call this LinkedIn jail, and this can often be because you've sent too many connection requests or too many people have marked what you're doing as spam. And it's important to note that this is not in line with LinkedIn's user agreement. So do have a read of that. And you might see a message like this, which says you're out of invitations now. Basically, you're just sending out too many. And people generally do this because they're not getting a good enough conversion rate that they need to send out a huge volume of LinkedIn connections to get the same results. You may have also seen this where you have to put in somebody's email address in order to send them a connection request. This is a similar sort of penalty. Or you may even see a message like this that says they've restricted your account temporarily, and they may give you an indication of when the restriction will be lifted, in which case you just need to basically wait it out and avoid doing it again. So keep watching in the video because I'm going to show you how you can avoid getting there in the first place. Prevention is the best strategy. First things first, don't panic. There's always things that can be done. Even if you get restricted multiple times, after a time frame, if you contact LinkedIn the right way, you can get it lifted. Here are some examples of conduct or activity that may result in your account being restricted. An unusually large amount of activity from the account all of a sudden, that might indicate that you're using an automation or something like that, or using some software. Misrepresentation is a big one, or pretending to be someone you're not. Of course, that can be a big issue. Sometimes it happens by accident if people report your profile, so you can always get that sorted out as well. Inappropriate or illegal activity obviously is a no-no. Reports of abusive behavior, or that the account might have been hacked, in which case you want to change your password. Using automation software or bots, that unless otherwise authorized by LinkedIn, but I mean most of them are not authorized by LinkedIn. I can't see why they would be, but I know they do have some partners, so unless they explicitly say it's authorized by LinkedIn, it's not. Or a high percentage of people have been declining your invitations or marking your messages as spam. If you're using LinkedIn for lead generation, and a lot of people you're sending a lot of uncustomized connection requests, just going bang, 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 this is most likely to be the scenario that it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with the LinkedIn professional community policies that you're expected to abide by, so you don't get into problems like this and other problems with LinkedIn. Okay, so first things first, prevention is the best strategy. I encourage you to customize your invitations when you send them out. I don't think that you need to just send them to people, connection requests to people you know. You can use it as a networking tool, that's what it's there for, but you want to make sure that you customize the invitation so the person receiving it knows that you've taken the time to look at your profile, maybe mention mutual connections, mention some things in common, so they think that you've done a little bit more than just hit, send. What you want to avoid doing is making the invitation all about you. I wanted to connect with you because I want to do this. You show interest in them. Maybe mention something on their profile, and that's going to get a much higher conversion rate. You're much better off spending your time working out what that messages say than sending, more and more connection requests that aren't getting accepted. Mutual connections, and admire your experience. Just basically asking for a connection request. Don't make it too complicated. Don't put any other options in there, phone numbers, emails. If you ever come across any websites like this that say they can send automated personalized connection requests, or bulk message your first level connections, or export email addresses from LinkedIn, that's called automations, bots. They're scraping data from LinkedIn. They're against the user agreement. You want to avoid using these. My next piece of advice is to limit the number of invitations that you send on LinkedIn. 50 per day on a free account I think is reasonable, but you do want to start off with less and grow to more, because you don't want somebody going from no requests to sending 70 a day, for example. So you build it up. The chances are you probably could get up to 100 if you manage your pending requests, but 50 is probably a manageable rate. If you upgrade to Sales Navigator, you can get away with doing more than that, but it just depends on how many pending requests you have and whether or not you've been restricted before and things like that. A lot of people don't realize that you can withdraw pending requests or LinkedIn invitations that have not been responded to yet. And so to do that, you go to My Network at the top, and then you click on See All. The invitations there, See All. And then when you get to the next page, you want to click on sent. So you've got the received there, and then you want to click on the sent column. And there you can see there's 257 people that have not responded to invitations that I've sent out yet. You want to keep this under 400 or 500 invitations, absolute maximum. Because if you let it build up to thousands of invitations, of course you're going to be restricted by LinkedIn. They're just going to see that so many people are not responding to your requests. So you want to scroll down because they're in order of most recent and find ones that are about 4 weeks or more old, and then withdraw them. Just keep in mind that when you do withdraw them, you won't be able to send that person a connection request again for 3 weeks. But that's all you're going to be concerned about. So if somebody's got a connection request, say a month ago, the chances of them responding to it now is a lot lower than if you sent it, the last week or two. And anyone that's accepted a connection request already is not going to be showing up in this list. Very good hack for keeping your account safe. We do this with all our clients to make sure that we've never actually had a client that's had their account restricted. Okay, now if that doesn't work, and you can't you're not going to get lifted within a few days, or they haven't given you a time frame, go to the help section of LinkedIn, and they will say if it's the first restriction, wait a few hours and try again. If it's multiple restrictions in a day, wait a few days to try again. Most restrictions will automatically be removed within a few days, but if you've had too many outstanding invitations, you may need to wait a month. Basically, like if you get restricted the first time, it'll most likely be lifted the next day. The second time, it might take a few days. Third time might take a month. Fourth time, you might actually have to contact LinkedIn. Contact form for general restriction inquiries and explain your scenario. The best thing to do is to acknowledge the mistake and mention that you understand that the user agreement is not in line with what you did and that you won't be doing it again. And then it's important to actually stick to that and not do it again. If you got your account back from watching this video, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. And if you didn't, you're going to have to go down that route of contacting LinkedIn and talk to them. Sometimes it can take longer than a few months, but eventually you can get your account back, so don't lose hope. Just make sure you do the right thing, no automation, customize your connection requests, manage your pending connection requests, and also stay away from engagement pods. LinkedIn engagement pods are also a no-no. If you're doing anything that's not in line with LinkedIn's user agreement, you can run the risk of getting restricted or even banned. I do know some influencers that have been banned from LinkedIn permanently. So it is a very serious issue, but if it's your first offense, don't panic. We all make mistakes. There are ways around it, as you've seen in this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. If it was successful, let me know in the comments. And I would love it if you subscribe to my channel for more LinkedIn training, marketing videos, some of my keynotes, and interviews with entrepreneurs making an impact. That's my YouTube channel. Head over to there and subscribe.